right? If you want to serve other people, if you want to be the best father that you can be, if you want to be the best friend that you can be, if you want to be the best entrepreneur, business person, whatever it is you want, if you're going to be that best person, you have to start the day off right. Howdy folks, welcome back to Don't Fret. Martin Fretwell here, and today I'd love to talk about morning rituals. Actually, I was watching a video last night, really short video on Russell Brand, and I think it was something entitled "What I Do Every Morning to Keep Myself Sane," which sounds a little intense, doesn't it? But you know, love him or hate him, I personally love him. Russell Brand has had a life, right? And he's kicked virtually every negative habit known to man. And as somebody with an addictive personality, he's managed to kick heroin, well, not just heroin, but numerous different types of drugs. Heroin obviously being the pinnacle. He's kicked porn addiction, he's kicked sex addiction, he's kicked love addiction. So he was talking about how important his morning ritual is to give him every chance of the day, right? It's part of the 12-step program, and any kind of recovery from addiction, it's not necessarily about 10, 15 years down the line. It's about getting to the end of the day, right? So teeing yourself up to be able to have the best day you can possibly have is crucial, not just for people in Russell's position, but anybody that really wants to live their day with purpose. Right? If you want to serve other people, if you want to be the best father that you can be, if you want to be the best friend that you can be, if you want to be the best entrepreneur, business person, whatever it is you want, if you're going to be that best person, you have to start the day off right. And as I kind of look back on my own life, I don't have a morning ritual right now. I kind of lost my morning ritual when I switched time zones from the US back to the UK, but my business still being US focused. But because my business then, or work time, wouldn't start till like 2 p.m., my morning ritual kind of faded away. And quite frankly, I shouldn't have done that. Now, I'm not one to live with regrets, though, because I can change that in an instant. I remember in all different parts of my life, I've had different moments where I've been kind of like physically fit and strong. I've had quality relationships. I've felt healthy, and my business has been, or my career has been going strong. But rarely have they all happened at the same time. And there's only really once in my life that I can actually point to where all of that was happening at the same time. And it was when I lived in Los Angeles. And I remember it vividly because if I didn't leave my house by 6:40 a.m., I'd get stuck in Los Angeles traffic, and it would double the length of time it would take me to get to work. So I had to find a way of getting up about 6 a.m. every morning without that snooze button issue, right? And it was having an integrated morning ritual that got me there. And I would like to get back there. So what I'm going to do effectively in this video is do a live example of how I'm going to set up a very basic morning ritual for myself. And if I click this button, ta-da! Look at that, I've been playing. Anyway, so as you can see here, the acronym that I'm going with is SAVERS. Now, this is an acronym that was created by a person called Hal Elrod in the book The Miracle Morning. And Hal had spent a lot of time kind of digesting, interviewing high performers on their own kind of personal morning rituals, because it was very evident that anybody that had been high performing in a certain category had a very, very noticeable morning ritual. And the one thing that I would add is a lot of this depends on what you want out of your life. And you can model morning rituals based on individuals. You know, when I say high performing, there's the obvious connotation of sports stars and what their morning ritual might look like. But you could also look at Buddhist monks have a very rigorous morning ritual. That means that they live a very peaceful and happy life. So if peace is a concept or an idea or an emotion that you want to feel more of, you can look into what the morning rituals are of a Buddhist monk, as an example, and start to build in some of those concepts. But Hal Elrod's Miracle Morning is designed to be a little bit of a catch-all, especially considering it's fairly simple to get started. And because I want to build a habit, I don't want to dive into like the Hour of Power, which is a Tony Robbins thing, which I'll be covering in a future video. I just want something simple to get me started tomorrow. So let's take a look. So the first one, and I've been thinking about this for at least a few minutes. But as we look here at the acronym, silence, affirmations, visualization, exercise, reading, and scribing. So let's start from the top. Silence is effectively another way of describing meditation. So I very much kind of want to build in meditation as part of my practice. Now, the good thing is I can do a bit of a confluence of tasks here. And the version of silence that I want to take in is what's called a Tony Robbins priming exercise. Tony Robbins priming exercise. And I'll link to all of the resources discussed in this video in the description below so you can get them. But effectively, this is a 12 to 15 minute exercise which involves meditation, visualization, and gratitude. So I might cover that in a future video as well, but that is going to be my meditation practice. The second one is affirmations. Now, affirmations is a strange topic because it took me ages to do affirmations. I'll be honest, I was really, really resistant to affirmations. You know, that whole idea of standing in front of a mirror and saying, "You, Martin, you can do this." You know, it felt really, really strange. It felt like somebody was watching me and someone was going to judge me, even if I was on my own in the bathroom doing it in front of a mirror. And my old coach used to say, "Well, do it in the shower instead." And that didn't work either. But what I did find is that I devised a way of writing out affirmations that I wanted to recite to myself every day. And I decided to record myself saying those affirmations. And this harkens back to that time in Los Angeles when I would drive to work. So I'd have those recordings on an MP3 file so I could just hit play and listen to them in the car. Absolutely no problem. But what I did was, which was extra special, I actually added a music background. So some of my favorite tunes. And I made sure that I stayed away from anything with lyrics here, because obviously with my voiceover, you don't want that conflicted with the lyrics, right? So I just chose some different non-lyric based tunes that would resonate with the topic that I was talking about. And I'm going to be doing a future video on my affirmation story. So if affirmation is something that you're interested in, then like, subscribe, and stay tuned because there's tons of content around this area to help you as well. So affirmations is audio affirmations. Visualization. Right, so as I mentioned, as part of the Tony Robbins priming exercise, Tony Robbins priming exercise, there is a visualization process that includes gratitude, visualizing your future self, and ideas like that. And it's also actually intertwined with my affirmations that I've also got a future projection visioning element as part of my affirmations. So when you're doing your morning ritual, you don't necessarily have to kind of segment them as like, oh, right now I'm going to do my visualization exercise. They can actually be woven in. So it's more like for 20, 30 minutes, an hour, whatever you choose to do, that whole activity is blended into these 6 different morning rituals. So exercise. This is going to be a tough one, but I'm going to keep it light. And I'm going to start with a brisk walk, to be honest. I'm not going to keep it intense. I'm not going to say a run or anything like that. God knows what the weather's going to do. You know, we're just about to enter a British winter, so... And I don't want to give myself an out. I don't want to give myself an out here. So my exercise is going to be a brisk 15-minute walk. I live right next to a canal. It's a beautiful, beautiful walk. So even if it's raining, I've got plenty of waterproof gear. I could just get that on, get myself outside. When I get back, I'm just going to hop in the shower anyway. So who cares if I get wet, right? Who cares? I'll be fine. So a 15-minute brisk walk, and I'll probably combine listening to the audio affirmations with that walk as well. Reading. Again, I might be able to intertwine this with the walk, because Jonathan Wass. Reading is consuming material that is going to add value, right? So in my case, I'm actually going to be doing audiobooks here. I have Tony Robbins' Personal Power audio program to go through. To be honest, I've got a stack of audiobooks. I am not going to struggle with a shortage of audiobooks. But the idea is, one of the first things that I'm going to do is I'm going to start feeding my brain with positive content. So before I start looking at social media or taking in the news or anything kind of that is almost designed to distract my brain or influence my brain to buy something or do something or feel fear, I'm going to enrich it with something quality. I'm going to start with Personal Power by Tony Robbins. And the last one is scribing. You might know this as journaling. I've had a terrible relationship with journaling over the years. I still haven't found a way of getting it to work. I've tried audio notes. I have tried just using Evernote, which is what I'm using right now for this, to just document my thoughts. I've tried setting up tasks lists for the day, but all the other 5 have added value. Journaling or scribing always felt to me like a waste of time. However, I can't help but hear the benefits of journaling. My partner does it. I know tons of people that get so much value out of journaling. So right now, despite the fact that of my past resistances and the fact that I haven't got it to work in the past, I know it works for others. So I'm going to assume that the problem is me, not the journaling itself. So I've decided to get this little bad boy here. And if you could read that, is that going to focus? It says 1 line a day. Thank you. 1 line a day. It's a 5-year memory book. And it's literally as simple as that. Every day, document a thought, a sentence, a line, a quote, or something like that. Because this is going to be my gateway into a journaling habit. So I'm going to keep that up. And the truth is, I'm not going to... I should type that down. Let me type that down. 1 line a day, 5-year memory book. /journal. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I am going to make sure that my affirmations are on my phone. I'm going to make sure that Tony Robbins priming exercise is bookmarked on my PC here. I am going to get my clothes out ready for the brisk walk in the morning. And my book's already here. So the first thing I do when I get up is I start activating on this morning ritual. And one quick tip on a morning ritual, something that I highly, highly recommend, is it's hard getting up. In fact, let's go back to the big camera. So my quick tip is sometimes it's really, really hard to get out of bed, right? All my life I've been a night owl, so getting out of bed on a morning has always been challenging. The only time in my life when it's worked is when I've had an empowering morning ritual. But to be honest with you, even with this morning ritual, there was one thing that made a huge difference is when I first got out of bed, and I don't, one of the keys here is I'm not going to negotiate with my brain. If my brain says just 5 more minutes, no. When I say go, we go. My brain is not going to have that negotiation. And the first thing I'm going to do is have a cold glass of water. And maybe over time, there are tons of things that I would love to try out. And maybe I'll kind of experiment with them on the channel. I would love to try cold water plunges first thing on a morning. I would love to try Wim Hof breathing methods. I'd love to try a bunch of things, but one thing at a time. And I'm going to start this tomorrow. And look, now, if you've managed to kind of catch this at more or less the time of recording it, now is a bloody amazing time to get started with a morning ritual. In the UK, we've just had daylight savings, which means daylight savings is also going to come in the US relatively soon. So you've got an extra hour. You've got that extra hour to play with. Now is the perfect time to build in a morning ritual. So if you want to feel at your best every single day, I recommend starting with something simple like the Savers Program, read The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod, digest some content, decide what types of things do you want to be business empowered, do you want to feel more peace, discover and model the morning rituals of the types of people that you want to model, put them into the Savers Program, keep it simple, and start now. There is literally no better time to start than right now.